The new grand total we now have invested in our $10,000 Piper Cherokee after the ferry flight home and after the full annual inspection is... What's going on, guys? Welcome back to JR Aviation and welcome to the $10,000 Cherokee 180 Part 3. Today is the day where we push it for the first time and fly it home to Phoenix after completing the full annual inspection here southwest of Yuma, right on the border of Mexico. Everything went smoothly last video. If you missed it, be sure to check it out, part 2. There were a few little hurdles that came up and definitely changed our course of plans, but we were able to adapt and overcome and get the job done. The plane itself had very, very few squawks, very straightforward annual, but it was quite in-depth. You know, we spent the entire day yesterday from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. working on this plane. It was a big day, and luckily we just got the ELT battery delivered this morning, which was the final piece we need for airworthiness. A couple subscribers flew it out from Corona, California, the only place in the country that had it available for same-day purchase. We got it installed, and now we're ready to hit the skies legally, fully wrapped up, good to go. So I'm hopping in the left seat with our CFI Caleb over there. Christian's already in the back seat where you got it full of fuel, and we're ready to hit the skies for the first time and see how it does up high and see how it does for the first time with us actually in it recording, right? The first video was ferried back with just essential crew, one person obviously, so we weren't allowed to be in it, so this will be really exciting to be in it and see how it does. Here she is, about to put in work, going up to 10,500 feet, full of fuel. Didn't need all this fuel, but at only 530 a gallon in today's day and age, that's a great deal, so we had to fill it up. You ready for this?
Let's go, it's hot.
It's already 96 degrees and it's just 10:30 a.m. So welcome to Yuma, Arizona in the summertime. Everything ready, I love when it's hot. Oh boy. Ready, master, fuel pump on, mixture's full rich. Fire in the hole, 3, 2, 1. Alright.
Nice, EarthX batteries making hot starts easy.
Yeah, it really cranks it over quicker.
Yeah, let's do a run up real quick while we're sitting here. So let's go to 2,000 RPM.
Left, 50, 60, right, yep, same thing, both.
That looks good.
Heartbeat, gotta drop.
Checking fuel pressure, oil pressure, temperatures green, full fuel.
Idle check. Excellent.
Go back to 1,000 real quick. We're gonna do a quick flight instrument check before we take off.
Yep.
So first thing we're looking at is our airspeed is at 0.
Yes.
The heading indicator and magnetic compass should be about 2.5.
Yep.
Those are within 10 degrees. The altimeter, is that reading about 177?
Yeah, right on the money, yep.
Cool, that's field elevation. Attitude indicators, wings are level, blue over brown.
Fuel pump's still on, which we're gonna leave on.
Yep, we'll leave that on for takeoff, and then as we climb, we'll let's have the rotating beacon on.
Seat belts on the fullest tank, they're both full.
Talk about the takeoff. We're departing to the south. We'll kind of fly out maybe a mile or so. Then we'll hook a left turn and start to go around the airspace. I might talk to Yuma approach and try to just cut right through it so you don't have to waste time.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, we're going to go full throttle on takeoff. You're going to watch the airspeed once it reaches about 55 to 60 right here.
60. He's back.
He's back on the yoke. Keep in mind, while we're in this little cutout right here, it's only up to 300 feet AGL. What that means is 500 feet MSO, which is what's going to be reading on.
So we got to stay under 500.
Yep, so we're clear of this airspace, and then at that point we can start hooking a left-hand turn towards the east.
Perfect.
Maybe talk to Yuma and cut through it all.
Squawking 1200, we're on Somerton.
We do have to be aware of these restricted areas that are just south.
Yeah, so we got to thread the gap between restricted.
Little needle right here. Go.
Yep.
And make our way back to Scottsdale, I believe. Is that where we're going today?
I think so. Cool. Here we go. First flight at 97 Whiskey.
Real quick, guys, before we hit the skies, we got to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Pilot Institute. Now, given that this video is all about our $10,000 airplane, I'm going to go ahead and assume that there are a lot of viewers watching this video right now who maybe want to get into flying, maybe want to be a pilot one day, but they think it's only for the rich. You got to be a millionaire to fly. And of course, the whole purpose of this channel is to debunk that and show that no, you don't need to be a millionaire. You can get a great deal on a plane, and you can actually make quite a few smart financial decisions when it comes to training and getting your license. One of those smart financial decisions you can make is to do your ground school through Pilot Institute. Their course can take you from knowing nothing about flying to passing your written exam in a very short period of time. I've said it before and I'll say it again, their videos are the highest quality and the easiest to understand and comprehend out of any that I've ever seen, along with the fact that everything is taught by professional instructors who know their craft inside and out. It makes understanding these somewhat difficult concepts a lot easier. And yes, they offer every single course you could possibly want, whether it's the drone course or the instrument course or the commercial course or the twin engine course or the PPL course. They have it all. And get this, they also have a couple free courses that I'll link down below. One of them being for the Piper Cherokee. Yes, that's right. They have a deep dive on the Cherokee so you can learn all about the plane, the systems, how it works, for free. Be sure to use our special links down below with our unique coupon codes so that you guys get the best deal possible when purchasing. Thank you, Pilot Institute, for supporting the channel for years now and making videos like this possible. Now, without further ado, back to the first flight home in the Cherokee 180.
Somerton traffic, Cherokee 7097 Whiskey, taking runway 17 for a southeast departure, Somerton. Full power is set. Airspeed's alive. There's 50, 60. All right, so staying under 500 feet.
Yep. And we'll just fly this way for a little bit.
RPM's good, everything's good.
Yep, full rich.
Looks good.
Coming up on 400 feet.
All right, 450, so we got to hang here.
Just for a couple more seconds.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and start your climb, and you can start making a slow left turn.
Slow left turn, okay. It's still good heading, more left.
Yeah, no, just keep this slow roll coming kind of towards these mountains.
All right.
1,000 feet altitude.
Reporting a good climb performance, given how hot it is.
Where's our cylinder head temp?
Doesn't have it.
Wow.
Why it's best just do shallow climbing. All right, guys, now we're threading the gap between the delta and the restricted area, but the plane is performing great. Just seems so lively. It really jumps off the ground, and the engine is just ripping. So everything looks good here. We'll catch you guys in a bit as we're higher up and we cool off. Okay, guys, just made it up to 10,500 feet without much sweat. So now we're gonna lean it out. We're probably on the definitely quite the rich side by a good margin, just because I'm not familiar with how this knob kind of distance is compared to the 235. And we're not 100% sure if this works. Yeah, it looks like it does. So let's see if this increases as we pull it back toward red line. Nice and slowly. Yeah, we're gaining RPM. All right, about 2450. Now we're looking for either a drop of RPM or maybe an increase if it's got more power to go. All right, I guess EGT is rising, but still no RPM drop. We're just looking for an RPM drop, and then we're enriching it back in. All right, this thing does come out quite a bit. Holy cow. All right, the EGT is going up. Let's see if that red line's really right. Right now we'd be 200 rich at peak still. No way.
Yeah,
I don't think it
now.
Okay, it dropped. Yeah, you can feel that. Actually, that's nice that it isn't too dramatic. Okay, but we'll put a little power back in. So this is probably right at peak, or maybe a hair lean at peak, so we can just put a little bit back in to get it.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep, yeah. It went up. All right, so that was just 20 lean at peak, and then this is probably about peak right here, and we got some power back. Yeah, okay, that's cool. All right, so it peaks at 1460, 1480.
And we really want to cruise at peak just because we're outside the red box.
Yeah, it's actually okay to do that. We're probably going to put a little more power back in because we
lost a lot of speed with that.
All right, so let's go 50 rich at peak. Go a little bit more. Yep, so this should bring it back down to a little over 1400, which would be like 50 rich at peak, which is about max power. Yep, right there. Well, that should be a pretty comfortable level there. All right, guys, we'll see how it likes that. We'll see where it settles in with speed here. With the tailwind, we're already doing pretty good. 125 knots and climbing. Catch you guys in a bit. 20 minutes later now, we are all dialed in. This thing is so smooth. I mean, look, hands off. It's just straight and level. Feels perfect. Trim is all dialed in. Just literally just pinky touches to keep this thing going straight. So we're doing pretty good there. We're probably burning, gosh, I don't know. If this high in the Cherokee 235, we were burning maybe 10 gallons super high. I mean, this one, 2/3 the size exactly. Just 2 cylinders lopped off. So is that 2/3 the fuel burn? Burning 6.6 gallons right now? That sounds very low. It's super efficient for the speeds. How fast are we going right now? 127 knots. Over the ground. Who knows what is true? I think we have a little push, but still, this thing is ripping. Man, feels good. What do you guys think? I've been the one talking.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been performing really well. The plane's smooth, obviously fresh out of its annual. I mean, feels good. No complaints.
Christian?
Yeah, doing that annual was great. We know what's underneath this plane makes us even more comfortable. Even though we were the ones owner assisting with the annual, it cost us a lot less, but that doesn't mean that it's any less safe. Surprising to me was learning there's no CHT gauge on this panel, so we're going off of oil temperature and EGTs to make sure the engine is happy, and it sure feels smooth.
Yeah, and being the one to, be the test pilot after the annual and kind of putting everything back together, it definitely performed really well in that little traffic pattern at Somerton, so good flying airplane.
Glad you had confidence in your work, because Jeffrey and I chose to sit on the ground.
Yep. Yeah, but you're right. It's nice when we're the ones helping pull apart every panel. We were pretty much there for every step of the way. So we were able to see it firsthand that everything was in good shape. Nothing was corroded. All the pulleys and stuff were nice. Got them all lubricated up. We were doing everything, with the mechanics. So not only did we learn a ton, but we have the peace of mind now that this airplane is just like dialed in. You guys can see the prop in the video, but it's turning so quick that we can't see anything. Just super classic Cherokee, super stable, easy peasy to fly. We swapped over to the right tank, so yeah, all basic stuff. So when we get on the ground, we'll break down the full annual cost, and it'll be pretty crazy eye-opening for you guys to see like what all was needed for this plane, how much it costs, and like how much now we are in the plane back home, all said and done, airworthy. That'll be an interesting number because it's no longer the $10,000 Cherokee. Catch you guys in the descent, getting the Bravo transition over to Scottsdale.
Phoenix approach, Cherokee 7097 Whiskey, request.
7079er Whiskey, Phoenix approach, say request.
Cherokee 7097 Whiskey is about 3 nautical miles southwest of Firebird Lake, 4,300 feet, where we want to request the transition northbound to Scottsdale.
7097 Whiskey, squawk 0362.
0362, 7097 Whiskey.
7097 Whiskey, radar contact 2 miles west of Firebird Lake, Phoenix altimeter 2983, cleared through Bravo airspace via the east transition, climb maintain 5,500.
Climb maintain 5,500, cleared through the Bravo via east transition, 7097 Whiskey.
Nice.
As you know, when we are VFR, we have to hear the explicit cleared through the class Bravo airspace in order to enter it, which we just got from Phoenix approach.
7097 Whiskey, contact approach 120.7.
0.7, 7097 Whiskey. Oof, God. Phoenix approach, Cherokee 7097 Whiskey, 5,500 east transition.
November 7097 Whiskey, Phoenix approach, descend maintain 4,500.
Descend maintain 4,500, 7097 Whiskey.
All right, guys, we are going right over Sky Harbor right now. Bravo transition. All right, so hill transfers to Scottsdale. We have the ATIS. What was it?
Mike, all right. Phoenix approach, Cherokee 7097 Whiskey, requesting frequency change.
7 Whiskey, frequency change approved. Take care.
See ya. 97 Whiskey.
Bam. Scottsdale Tower, Cherokee 7097 Whiskey is about 8 to the south over Camelback, inbound full stop with Mike.
Cherokee 7097 Whiskey, Scottsdale Tower, make left traffic, runway 21.
Left traffic, runway 21, 97 Whiskey. All right, so left traffic for 21. Okay, so we're hooking around. Downwind. Hey.
We're kind of just entering downwind right now.
This lady's always nice at Scottsdale. Yeah, I remember her voice. Comforting. She's cool. Last camera bit for you guys. Passing over Mummy Mountain now. We just crossed over Camelback. Gated, guarded community. Ultra rich down there. Love those homes. Fun fact, they're the highest homes in all of Phoenix, elevation-wise, right down there. So Scottsdale's right ahead. Let's get down to business.
Okay, we're coming down to their pattern altitude, which is 2,500.
Hopefully with it being this hot and this bumpy, not many people out.
Yeah, we're gonna come in a bit faster on approach too, just because we've got a little extra weight, got some hot air, a long runway.
I lied, one more clip guys. Look at the fires ablaze up there in North Scottsdale. That's really not that far away. There's homes pretty close to there.
Can you turn the fuel pump on for me, please?
All right, fuel pump on.
Cherokee 97 Whiskey, traffic on a full say Gulfstream on a 4-mile final. Whenever, report in sight.
Roger, we are looking 97 Whiskey.
Gulfstream on a
How do you miss a Gulfstream on a 4-mile pause?
Man, yeah, I'm not seeing them.
What the heck? Oh, got him. Right across the mountains. All right. Traffic in sight, 97 Whiskey.
Cherokee 97 Whiskey, follow them. Number 2, runway 21, clear to land.
Number 2, runway 21, cleared to land. 97 Whiskey.
Now let's base. Throw a second notch on base.
What are we looking for with numbers?
Over
80?
the numbers, yeah, probably be 75, 80. Short final approach speed for this airplane, 75. But
535
I want maybe a little bit of extra speed here. That's miles per hour.
Is that it for the flaps, or will there?
Yep.
Okay.
No, that is it. Extra is ripped. Pump is on. Flaps are set. Airspeed looks good.
On the fullest tank. All right. Yep, about 85.
Like a few extra miles an hour.
Runway 21, clear to land at San 535.
Let's hold it off here. Let her.
Oh, so easy. What the heck? Hey, trailing lane gear. Wow.
Cherokee 97 Whiskey, whenever, stay parking.
Going over to transient, 97 Whiskey.
Cherokee 97 Whiskey, right turning, contact ground, they have traffic.
Right turn and over to ground, 97 Whiskey.
285, runway 21, clear for takeoff.
21.6, she already told us to go over, so boom. Scottsdale ground, Cherokee, 97 Whiskey, clear of runway 21, over to transient.
Cherokee 97 Whiskey, Scottsdale ground, taxi to park via Alpha.
Taxi to parking via Alpha, 97 Whiskey.
Go flaps up. Fuel pump can go off. Mixture leaning a little bit.
Oh, there's the new NetJets building. It's almost done. Of course, it's huge. Oh, that landed so smooth. It's lighter than the 235.
Does the 235 not also have trailing link gear? I thought it did.
I think it'd be the same.
All right, maybe we park next to that Bonanza. This is all transient. Okay, mixture. Here we go.
Master off.
Bam.
Let's get out of here, getting some cool weather and go over some numbers. $1.1 million, probably close to $1 million. $1 million. A36 TC with tips, nice paint job. It's probably 400 grand, 500 grand. And here we are, representing the cheap GA out of Scottsdale here. Just about non-existent anymore. Okay, whoever owns this plane, sir, you have an incredibly nice airplane. I want to know when this was painted. Look at this paint job. Love the scheme. I hope you guys can see just how clean it is. And this plane's like 45 years old. Crazy. Speaking of nice cars, look at this lineup. GT3 RS there on the end, brand new 992, 911 turbo, 720. Look at this, supercar heaven. Typical day in Scottsdale. Typical parking lot setup. Jeez, crazy. Oh, that's a 1016 car. My buddy built that car. I think I've driven that car right there. Gosh, they're everywhere. What the heck? Well, guys, how about that? The first real flight in the $10,000 Cherokee 180 is complete, and we made it with 0 squawks. At one point, the only thing that wasn't shown on camera is that, once again, that audio panel being like so ancient and non-labeled, I guess one of the things got flipped since the last flight. At one point we realized we weren't able to make radio calls. It sounded like we could, but we realized nobody could hear us. So we started like messing with the switches, and then finally we got them set up in the correct order to where we did a radio check and it was an immediate loud and clear. So we were good the rest of the flight. That was the only thing. Everything else was fantastic. That must have like a climb prop on it or something, since it's fixed pitch. It must be like a climb setting, because that thing for 180 horse on 100-degree hot weather summer day, loaded with 3 guys in full fuel, just ripped up to altitude, no problem. All while feeling so light and clean on the controls. I don't know how to describe it. You know, the only Cherokee we've come from before is the Cherokee 235, and now flying the 180, I realize just how heavy the controls are on the 235. Love that plane, don't get me wrong, but for like training and easy flying, the 180 is just so good. It makes sense why there's so many comments on part 1 and part 2 saying like, hey, I own a Cherokee 180, it's my favorite plane, they're just such good planes, or hey, I had one in the past, or I trained on it, it was my favorite training plane, you know, whatever. There were so many people loving the Cherokee 180s, and now I get it. I get it. Feeling those controls, it just felt so good, so stable, so smooth, and light. Light, light, light. Maybe it's because I'm coming from the 235, but regardless, I love the flight. It was great. Yeah, sitting on the ramp at Scottsdale next to all the $1 million planes, it looks a little, But hey, next video, we're gonna try to polish the paint and see how much life we can bring back into it for just, you know, some elbow grease and a whole day's worth of labor. It'd be much better off doing that than paying a ton of money for a paint job, in my opinion, because I don't know if it's worth investing a whole paint job into that plane. But polishing, for sure, we can do that. So speaking of money, speaking of investments, let's talk about our total investment costs here. We usually do this when a project's pretty much done, and a lot of people are asking, especially in part 1, saying, yeah, this won't be the $10,000 Cherokee for long. This thing's gonna be like 30 grand after you do all the work, and it's gonna need so much, and the engine's gonna need to be rebuilt, blah, blah, blah. So many people were hating on the plane in part 1, and I'm pleased to announce that I have the list of total costs here, and it's probably gonna be less than what you think. So, of course, the top line item is $10,000 for the airplane. If you didn't see part 1, go back and watch it. It's a crazy deal how we found it, how we negotiated it. Actually, there wasn't really a negotiation. I did not offer $10,000. Somebody else lowballed the seller on the plane at like $9,000, and then that's when he came to me and he's like, hey, how about $10,000? And I'm like, oh, say less, done deal. So I wired the money. It was sketchy because I didn't know the guy, and it was a random listing off the internet. That's a part 1 thing if you want to watch it, but $10,000 for that. And of course we had to get it back, so doing the ferry permit, that doesn't cost any money. Basically, it just takes time filling it out with the FSDO and all that stuff. And well, of course, there's the prep for the ferry flight. Somebody's got to go through, make sure there's no ADs, make sure the plane's in ferryable condition. So that was $300. And then the cost for the pilot to come out with Larry to fly it back, he did it for just $300, which I think is a good deal. And then we successfully had the plane back in Yuma, ready for the annual inspection, which you guys saw last video. Finishing up this video when the ELT battery arrived. That's the first expense that I have right here. That ELT battery, which came in super clutch, fire new friend Ryan, that was $64.75 for the part. Obviously we had to do an oil change. The oil filter was $45. We used 6 quarts of Phillips 2050 oil. That goes for about $8 a quart. So that's $48 plus 45, plus the cam guard, that's 27, so that's 120 total for the oil change. And now I know this is gonna sound crazy, but that's it. That's all the parts that we needed. The rest of the annual was just doing all of the inspection, doing all the required items, going through it to make sure there was nothing else broken. Everything else was in fantastic shape. We did not have to buy any other parts. I mean, there was a couple of little like screws and clamps, very basic stuff, just shop supplies and hardware. I mean, obviously I did cleaning, paper towel roll, and some of the release cleaner. That's it, just basic little hardware and shop supplies. So we'll put that to like 20 bucks. I mean, literally the food for the day and the hotel cost more than all of the parts that we needed for the rebuild. The hotel was 90 bucks, and then the food was about $50 in total. Okay, and then I guess we gotta add in fuel. The new grand total we now have invested in our $10,000 Piper Cherokee after the ferry flight home and after the full annual inspection is $11,286, covering everything, food, fuel, oh, shoot. I forgot about the IA's time, his labor charge. Not so quick. I was like, 11 grand, that's so cheap. We did have to pay the IA mechanic for his time, being there the whole day with us, doing an owner-assisted annual. His total labor charge was $1,000 even. So once again, a fair deal for being with us all day and teaching us a lot about airplanes. And of course, filling out all the logbook entries, and of course the 337 for the lithium battery. So all in all, I think that's a fair deal too. So a new grand total, everything, every last penny, $12,286. Let's go! Wow, I think that is an awesome deal, but what do you guys think? Comment down below. Is that more or less than you thought it would take to get this plane fully sorted in annual and airworthy? I'll be curious what you guys say down below. And for anyone saying,
oh, that must not have been a thorough annual if you only found like a couple items.
Guys, you gotta remember, the last annual inspection was done 0.7 hours prior to us buying the plane. That's correct. The previous owner flew it like twice before the annual expired and the plane was unairworthy. So even after the ferry flight to Yuma, the plane only flew like less than 3 hours. So it doesn't come as much of a surprise that there was pretty much nothing found during the annual, because it was done so recently before at a reputable shop where he spent nearly $10,000. So if you're spending 10 grand on a Cherokee annual, that's probably a pretty thorough annual, and the shop is well known. They do great work. So like, what all could break in less than 3 hours? Obviously a lot could break, but chances are you're gonna be looking pretty good. And thank goodness it's not in a corrosive environment. If this plane was in Florida for just 0.7 hours in a year, that could be a problem, sitting down there in the humid corrosive environment. But this plane was in California, so it was preserved pretty well while it was parked there. So what other content do you guys want to see with this plane other than the polishing restoration video of the paint? I don't think there's too much else going on with it. Like, I don't think we're gonna go too crazy with the avionics. Obviously we have the budget to do that, but everything works perfectly fine. So like, why go ripping it apart? Like, I don't know. I think we're just gonna use it for cheap fun and some cheap training. I mean, we've already logged a lot of time in it. I'm actually filming this 3 days after the video finished, and Christian and Caleb actually took it on like a 2.5 hour each way flight. So Christian logged like 5 hours in the plane already. So like, it's so cool that you can just fly it all you want and not worry about depreciation or money because it was so stinking cheap. You guys really seem to be liking the cheap airplane rebuild content, so who knows, we might have to try to find another one. If you happen to have some plane that's sitting out of annual, or that you inherited, or you haven't flown in years and you think it might be a cool YouTube project, be sure to shoot us an email, jrgarage22@gmail.com. Who knows, we're always buying good deals, so if it's a good deal, maybe we'll buy it and share it with our YouTube channel here. All right, see you guys.